Are all the tech commies, are all of them done? Do they have it together? I don't know if they have it together. We're back. Everyone should be excited. Everyone should be excited. We're back. And man, am I excited. Oh man, this new year could not have started off cooler. This is John Bolton. You're listening to Get Your News On with Ron. I'm the only contributor that bothers to learn the name of the show. And man, first of all, don't forget I'm still part of the resistance. Why? I'm willing to testify against Donald Trump. Donald Trump's not a nice guy. I'm willing to testify against that. You know who's cool with that? Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney is cool with that. We are verified members of the resistance. Stitch us some pink hats. Mitt Romney and some of the other moderates. What a beautiful country we live in, where someone like Mitt Romney is considered a moderate. Why else am I stoked? You know why I'm stoked. The same reason I got my war mustache going. We're going to war with Iran, baby. Yeah, my war mustache is going strong. I don't shave it unless we're at peace. I've not shaved it in over 20 years and still going strong. It's awesome. War with Iran. It'll be amazing. Peacetime is boring. Peace is so boring. Here, I'll prove it to you. When you're at the 4th of July, do you go see fireworks or do you go see some dude with a pamphlet going, oh, give peace a chance? No, you go to see shit blown up, don't you? Imagine if you showed up for a fireworks show and some douchebag that looks like Ron hands you a flyer and goes, we shouldn't be at war. I don't like war. Boo hoo hoo. Lame-o. Totally lame-o. War with Iran is awesome, and I helped get us there. How did I do that, you ask? Same way I did it with Iraq. Remember when George W. Bush claimed that Jesus Christ asked him to invade Iraq? That wasn't Jesus Christ at all. That was me in one of the ceiling vents in the White House. I was like, hey, man, it's me, your Lord. And he was like, Jesus, what do you have to say to me? Jesus, am I going to hell because I don't like my brother? And I was like, shut up, idiot, and listen. You got to go to war with Iraq. And he's like, why have you forsaken me? And I was like, I'm sorry, my child. I forgive you. But go to war with Iraq. And he was like, all right. Similarly, I was in the ceiling rafters again, and I talked to Donald Trump through his KFC order. I was like, hey, man, it's your chicken. And he was like, whoa, talking chicken. And I was like, hell yeah, you got to assassinate General Soleimani. You got to go do it over in Iran. And he was like, why would I do it? And I was like, you know why you do it. That guy said your hands are small. And he was like, my hands are an adequate size. And I was like, I know, you better go assassinate that dude. And so he did. And now we're going to war with Iran. Totally awesome. I did it. I will probably not be on this lame show much longer because I will likely get a speaking gig at MSNBC. Because again, member of the resistance, baby. You can be part of the resistance and still like war. What a country. All right. See you later, suckers. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Get Your News On with Ron. We're back for 2020. It's 2020. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. This is our first show of 2020. It's been, man, the news is really, a lot's happened just since the beginning of the year. You know, it's, we're about to embark on World War III, and I'm still writing 2019 on all my checks. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Man, I hope everyone is well. Lucy had a great vet appointment yesterday. If anyone was wondering, Lucy had her yearly checkup. That's why we didn't come back yesterday. And she got a clean bill of health for the most part. You know, at her age, there's always a couple things, a couple health decisions to make. But for the most part, she's doing good. So that's great. I was relieved at that. Guys, a lot is in the news. You guys have sent me a lot of stuff. We're going to get to some of it. We're not going to get to all of it. Happy New Year. And I hope you had a wonderful holiday season. And I hope the news of a potential World War III, I hope you're coping with it the best you can. Hey, shout out to everybody who's watching today because they have a snow day. Shout out to everyone who's like, hey, normally I can't make the show, but there's a snow day today. I'm snowed in, so I'm getting my news on with Ron. Welcome. Enjoy your snow day. Make the most of it. I'm not a big fan of snow. I don't like it. I like living in a place that doesn't have it. But, you know, sometimes when the city shuts down or the town shuts down or whatever it may be, it's nature's way of saying, come on, slow down, take a breath, take a step back, Do a thing. Read a book. Learn a language. Whatever it is. You got a snow day. What else are you going to do? Do you got plenty of canned goods? You got water? You're fine. All right. So check this out. And yeah, shout out to everyone in that situation and everyone that has nice weather. Shout out to everyone. This is our new start time, by the way. The votes have been tallied, and the 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time, that won. That won the vote in both counts. There was a Twitter poll, and there was a vote on my YouTube community tab. In both cases, you guys voted for a time change. Here's our first day at the new time change. I got to say, I kind of dig it. I feel a little more rested. I'm able to do a little bit more in the morning. I'm able to kind of take a glance at things a little bit more and arrange some stuff. Given the nature of this show, I don't go too in depth with anything because that's not the premise of this show. But, you know, I kind of sift through stuff, see what we're going to talk about, and I have a little more time to do it now. I'm not a morning person. I still consider this a morning show. It is 11 a.m. where I'm at. This is a morning show. Anyway, guys, I don't know how Bernie Sanders or any of the other 2020 candidates that aren't Michael Bloomberg are going to make it through this. It's bad news. This is a little heavy. I hope we're all going to be okay. But this is a game changer here, guys. Look at this. Look at this. So this is from The View. Judge Judy is officially endorsing former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg for president. There was no other voice for me. So they have little subtitles here so we can read what she's saying. We're not gonna listen to the audio because I mean this is from The View, but it's also connected to Michael Bloomberg, and I feel like if there's anybody who would love to give a copyright strike to as many channels as possible, it's Michael Bloomberg. If Michael Bloomberg had his way, he would stop and frisk every YouTube channel in any possible violation. He'd be like, copyright strike, give it to him. But here's what she says. All right, so it starts, I felt as if it was time for America, which is the greatest country in the world. Does she know that? Judge Judy, do you know that? Where else have you been? Have you been to every other country in the world? It's so annoying when people speak in superlatives. America is the greatest country in the world. First of all, it's called the United States. It's not called America. That annoys a lot of people in Canada and other places when you just call it America. It's North America. That's a continent that the United States is part of. The country is called the United States, not America. Not trying to nitpick here, but it's like when you're going to make dumb statements like America is the greatest country in the world. Yeah, technically, what you just said isn't even correct. It's called the United States. And it's the greatest country in the world. It's so great, I don't know the name of it. It's so great, I don't even call it by its proper name. That's how great it is. Maybe I'm splitting hairs. And there's more to her statement here on why she's endorsing Michael Bloomberg for president. The guy who instituted stop and frisk. The guy who New York City hated so much, nobody was excited about his presidency. But he's fit to lead the free world. He was hated as a mayor. He's fit to lead the free world, though. He's not the only hated mayor running for president now. There's also Pete Buttigieg. All right. Anyway, let's get into this. I felt as if it was time for America. All right. So we got through that one. Oh, wait. We don't want the audio. All right. So let's see. What else is she saying? To have the greatest president for a while. He's going to be not the greatest ever. She's not willing to go that far. Not a place card, not a revolution, because I don't think this country needs a revolution. Full stop. Guess what, Judge Judy? This country does need a revolution. But you don't know that because you're rich and disconnected and you work in reality television. By the way, last time we started getting somebody involved with politics who works in reality television. How'd it work out? How'd it work out? That guy's still in the White House. How's that going? How's that going? So do we really want this Judge Judy endorsement? I don't watch that show because... I mean, there's a number of reasons why. I guess the most obvious is I don't bother with cable because I don't need it. I don't know how anyone needs it. What do you do with cable if you have it? Like, honestly, like pretty much everything you can get online. And if you like a certain thing, you can just get why is cable television even still a thing? But anyway, all right. So this country doesn't need a revolution, even though we have crippling amounts of student loan debt that is fracturing an entire generation and multiple generations at this point. Even though half the country can't afford $1,000 emergency, even though we have an economy of war. that is decimating us locally and causing havoc and destruction and brutality around the world at the behest of oil companies and weapons manufacturers. Even though we have a corporate takeover of both of our political parties that are really just one party, and it's the money party. Even though we are committing atrocities towards immigrants and towards people coming here to be refugees, even though people die from lack of health care in the richest country in the world, even though we have a homeless epidemic, even though there's cities in this country that don't have clean drinking water, once again, in the richest country in the world. We don't need a revolution, says Judge Judy. We need Michael Bloomberg, the guy that New York City hated. The guy that instituted stop and frisk. That's his legacy. Stop and frisk. A racist, over-militarized response to crime. That's his legacy. And what else does he stand for? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Michael Bloomberg. Here's what else she's saying. All right, so this country doesn't need a revolution. Judge you, we're fine. I think it's a very young country. It's 250 years old, and in the scheme of things, that's a baby. Go tell that to the people that were here first. Please, Judge Judy, go to a reservation or a Native American, any Native American land, and tell them how young this country is. Tell them how young this country is, and that's all there is to this country. People were here first, Judge Judy. People were in America first. So insightful. So insightful. And it still has growing pains. It's still learning. It's still exploring how to interpret the Constitution. Well, that's fair. Okay. I can dig that. Growing pains, reasonable. Still learning, reasonable. Exploring how to interpret the Constitution. Which it means it is elastic, not is it elastic, not elastic? But in the greatest country, everybody wants to come here. Not true. Not true. Everybody wants to come here. We have a net zero immigration, Judge Judy, a net zero. And a lot of the people that are coming here, they're coming here because of our sanctions crushing their countries. They're coming here because of climate change and their ability to farm is being compromised. They're not coming here because they're like, I heard it's the greatest. Judge Judy said so. That's not why they're coming here. Or they're refugees because we bombed the shit out of them. That's why they're coming here. But according to her, they're coming here because of how great it is. They heard her talk about how awesome it is. So that's why, and then that's why we're the greatest country in the world. All right, this is who endorses Michael Bloomberg. This is the type. I mean, has she said anything about what he would do when he's in office? Not yet. Not yet. We're not going to get through this whole thing, but wow. So far, it sucks. And when I look at the field of 2020 candidates, for one reason or another, although I'm sure they're all very nice people, because that's all that matters, there was no other voice for me. Why? I wonder if she tells us. Other than a voice of someone who has experience in governance, second only to the president of the United States. Experience doing horrible things in a city. Okay. Because New York City has the most diverse population of any place else in the United States of America. She remembered the name of the country. All right. She's moving up. Except the United States of America. And you are all New Yorkers, so you sort of remember there was a good feeling. There was a good feeling. It was a feeling that things were run effectively and efficiently during his, like stop and frisk, that was real effective and efficient during his 12 years as mayor. Remember how great you felt? Remember how great you felt? I felt great when I was 4 years old. When I was 4 years old, everything was new and exciting, and I just felt great. I felt really great. So I guess Ronald Reagan was the greatest president ever because I felt great. I felt great. I had no clue what was going on in the world. The only thing that matters to me was when I was going to watch Wildcats. That was my favorite cartoon as a kid. And I really loved polenta and hot dogs. That was what I lived on, and milkshakes. I was a big fan. And at the time, I had trouble gaining weight as a kid. I wish I still had that problem. I lost that problem really quick. But when I was like 4, I had problems gaining weight. Lost it real quick. I was the chubby kid most of my life, but and still have problems. You know, I mean, I gain weight very easily, have a much harder time losing it. But at 4, so I could eat whatever I wanted because I needed to gain weight. So I guess Ronald Reagan's the greatest president ever because I felt great. I felt amazing. I guess I never knew this. Well, what great. I felt really good. This is somebody who never has to worry about anything because they're rich. All right. He's brilliant, self-made guy who runs, and what else does he do other than run? We'll see. Again, we're not doing audio. I don't want to stop and frisk on the YouTube. Manages thousands of people and has for 30 years. He's a philanthropist, not just a today philanthropist. Say that 5 times fast. Okay, so here we go. I'm in reality television, and I like Michael Bloomberg because he's a good businessman. Reality television, businessman. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound familiar to anybody else? Sounds familiar to me. So if you like Michael Bloomberg, that's what you want more of. That's what you want more of. All right. Okay, Judge Judy, there we go. Providing us with brilliant insight. So this is from Joe. Joe sent this in today. To stop Trump's war with Iran, we must also confront the Democrats who laid the groundwork. Democratic leaders are feigning outrage, but they've supported the precursors to war. And they kind of sum this up. Since President Trump took office in 2017, the leadership of the Democratic Party has overwhelmingly supported the precursors to today's dangerous U.S. escalation towards Iran, sanctions, proxy battles, and a bloated military budget. Oh, and a corporate media that the only time they praise the guy is when he drops bombs on Syria. And the fact that they give him more money for his military budget, as they point out, than he even asks for. They fast track his judges, and they give him hell for not being hawkish enough. They criticize Donald Trump for not being hawkish enough, and then they praise him when he drops bombs on Syria. So, yeah, Donald Trump is terrible. What Donald Trump's doing is terrible. He is ridiculous beyond comprehension. It is insane that he is president. It is absolutely insane. And I feel like every person, when they wake up in the morning, has that brief moment where they're like, oh my God, yeah, that's serious. However, Donald Trump is not working alone. Donald Trump surrounded himself with the swamp he said he was going to drain. And Donald Trump has complicit members in both parties that are pro-war, Democrats and Republicans. Donald Trump is not what corrupted our system. Our system was corrupted, so we got Donald Trump. Donald Trump is just the ugly face of what our system really is. And it will still exist in all of its horribleness after he is gone. So, just saying. And that's what this article gets at. Now, another thing they point out, as recently as December of 2019, the House overwhelmingly passed the National Defense Authorization Act, the NDAA, with a vote of 377 to 48. Now, 2 amendments were stripped from the bill before it went to a vote. So here are those amendments, and this is important. Ro Khanna's amendment to block funding for a war with Iran, barring congressional approval, and Representative Barbara Lee's amendment to repeal 2001's AUMF. That was the authorization for use of military force, where the president can basically just drop bombs on whoever they want whenever they feel like it. It's basically what that was. Barbara Lee wanted to get rid of that. Representative Ro Khanna had another amendment to have some checks. Tulsi Gabbard also had a resolution that was out there. So there were 3 things out there that could have prevented this. And all of them were shot down. Pun intended. And you know who was vocally opposed to all of them? Not just like didn't pursue them or didn't want to cast a vote or didn't want to ruffle any feathers, but was vocally opposed to said amendments. Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi. They want to impeach the guy. He's a treasonous. He's a traitor to this country. But they're fine with letting him commit atrocities around the world. They're fine with letting him drop bombs. They're fine with letting him assassinate people. They're fine with all that. Does that sound backwards to you? Does that sound like maybe this isn't a resistance at all? This is actually an assistance? It should by this point. I know if you watch this show all the time, you're like, yeah, but if you're a newcomer, hey, Donald Trump is terrible. Yes, no one's disputing that. But Donald Trump, he ain't working alone. Just like Bush wasn't working alone. Just like Obama wasn't working alone. So there you go. Democrats also complicit in this and help Trump get to this point. That's bipartisanship, everybody. That's bipartisanship. When the Democrats and Republicans work together, this is what you get. Illegal assassinations. that are provoking World War III. Boy. Tell me again how I need to vote for somebody who just gets stuff done across the aisle. Tell me again how Joe Biden, the guy who's open to having a Republican as his VP pick, that's going to help us. That's going to get us. That's going to get us out of this mess. Cool story. Cool story. All right. So this is interesting. This is from CNN. And Edwin shares this. And you noticed in the title this morning, where I kind of sum up some of what we're talking about in the title, I said, did CNN accidentally tell the truth about Iran? So it looks like they kind of did. We're gonna go through this, and this is a prime example of how the corporate media will discuss issues of war and peace, and it's very deliberate. All right, so check this out. So CNN, here's the article. Here's the headline: U.S. forces on high alert for possible Iranian drone attacks, and intelligence shows Iran moving military equipment. All right, so U.S. forces and air defense missile batteries across the Middle East were placed on high alert on Monday to possibly shoot down Iranian drones as intelligence mounted about a threat of an imminent attack against U.S. targets. Yeah, because we went and illegally assassinated, we being the United States, went and illegally assassinated one of their generals, General Soleimani, and they said, we're going to retaliate here. So now the U.S. is provoking a world war and a war with Iran, which, by the way, was all according to plan. The new American century and the neocons, they wanted to invade pretty much every country in the Middle East, starting with Iraq, going to Libya, Syria, Afghanistan, of course. And Iran was on that list too. You can find the clip of General Wesley Clark talking about that in 2007. This is all part of a strategic plan. What is the plan for? At the behest of weapons manufacturers, the economy of war, and oil companies. That's what it's all about. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This is all out in the public. This is public knowledge. All right. So here's what's interesting. This is the paragraph that's interesting. The alert reflects the heightened tensions between the U.S. and Iran in the wake of last week's U.S. drone strike that killed a top Iranian general, Qasem Soleimani. This should read as the illegal assassination of a top Iranian general, Qasem Soleimani. U.S. officials have claimed that the strike against the general was carried out to prevent an imminent attack in the region that would have put Americans' lives at risk. Here's the great part. By the way, don't you just love that? Hey, we had to illegally assassinate somebody and provoke a country to prevent war. That's Orwellian. That's completely Orwellian with how backwards that is. But here we go. But have so far, so wait, let me read that sentence again. U.S. officials have claimed the strike against the general was carried out to prevent an imminent attack in the region that would have put Americans' lives in risk, but have so far declined to provide details about the intelligence. This should be the headline. Hey, we said we were preventing some kind of attack. What kind of attack? No one knows. Let's just take their word for it. The intelligence agencies, they've never lied to us before. We can just trust them. Let's take their word for it. What are the details? Who was going to attack us? When? What was this guy trying to carry out that was a threat to the United States? Oh, we don't know. We don't know. But that's why we assassinated the guy. You assassinated the guy because he was a threat to the United States directly. Yes. How was he? Oh, we don't know. We have no details about that. Even CNN admits this. CNN, which, by the way, corporate media, pro-war, inherently pro-war. The corporate media is pro-war. Why? Because they're funded by the people who profit from war. They're funded by the oil and gas companies. They're funded by places like Halliburton. They're funded by all the institutions that profit from war. Up until recently, MSNBC was owned by General Electric, who makes bombs. Now they're owned by Comcast, so they're much better now. They're owned by Comcast. Now they're great. Now they just, they're still pro-war because they have all the same advertisers, but they won't, they're not funded by people who make bombs. They're just funded by, an inherently corrupt big cable company. So now they just have Rhodes Scholars that pretend to not understand net neutrality. That's what they have now. So there you go. CNN admits it. CNN admits it. We assassinated a guy. He was a direct threat to us. How? Well, we don't know. We don't know, but we can trust our intelligence agencies. They've never lied to us before. Remember those weapons of mass destruction Iraq had? Okay. So thank you for sharing that, Edwin. Thank you very much for sharing that. So this is from Scrabble Eddie over on the Reddit subsection. By the way, our Reddit subsection is just reddit.com/r/getyournewsonwithron. If you want, you can drop articles for me in that Reddit subsection. I check it out every morning, and that's how we build the show. I'm seeing everything for the first time. We're getting our news on together. You guys know the drill. And if there's some newcomers, welcome. Good to see you. Hope you're having a great 2020 so far. But this is something Michael Hudson wrote. Michael Hudson, of course, is an economist and a darn good one. And I love hearing that guy speak. He has a way, and you'll see this, it comes through in his writing too. He has a way of really breaking stuff down in a manner that it's very digestible and easy to understand. He is an academic, but he doesn't intentionally talk over people's heads, which, by the way, I used to be in academia. I have a master's. When people talk over other people's heads, it's on purpose. I'm sorry. Like it's just full stop. It's on purpose. If you're in the sciences or something, that's different. Like if you're a biochemist or something like, but even that, like I have a cousin who is a biomedical engineer. He went to Johns Hopkins for it. It's one of the most competitive programs ever. It's insanely competitive. They recruit you when you are a freshman in college and you stay through your PhD. That's how extensive it is and how competitive it is. So basically, when he was 17 or 18 years old, however old he was when he was a freshman, they recruited him to be there until he was in his early 30s. And he signed up for that program, and he made it through. And not everybody makes it through, as I'm sure you all can imagine. But even he can explain what he does in a manner that the general person can understand it. And my family gives him crap sometimes where they're just like, oh man, don't even ask him. And I'm like, do you actually listen to him? He actually explains it in a very concise way where I wouldn't be able to repeat it. You know what I mean? Like if you were like, well, explain it to us right now, Ron, I'd be like, dude, I need to talk to him again. You know what I mean? But he can explain it to me, like what he does in a way that's like, I get it. You know what I mean? So my point is, when an academic is talking over your head, it's on purpose and it's deliberate. They don't have to do that. They choose to. Michael Hudson is very good at just laying it out in a manner that it's very easy to digest and understand. And here's an awesome article that he wrote in Scrabble Eddie. Thank you for putting this in our Reddit subsection. America escalate its democratic oil war in the Near East. Oh, wait. So wait, you mean we might have not... I thought we assassinated that guy because he posed a direct threat to us. That's somehow a mystery. I thought he was public enemy number 2, even though nobody had ever heard of the guy. He was a big enemy. I thought that all of the rehashing of the Iraq soundtrack was legitimate and it was just coincidence. That's what I thought. You're telling me this is about oil? Oh man, now I'm intrigued. So Michael Hudson making the bold proclamation that this is all about oil. Crazy, right? America escalates its democratic oil war in the Near East. Democratic, in quotes, reasonably so. Mainstream media are carefully, I would call it corporate media, small disagreement, right? I mean, I know that's not a big deal, but I think I don't think we should use the term mainstream media. I think we should call it the corporate media because there's nothing mainstream about the corporate media. It does not reflect the people that live in the United States. Something mainstream would actually reflect the views of general people. The corporate media does not do that. It reflects the interest of corporations. Our corporate media is not news and information. It is Comcast-approved public relations. That's all it is. All right. So anyway, the corporate media are carefully sidestepping the method behind America's seeming madness in assassinated Qasem Soleimani to start the new year. Logic behind the assassination, as we know. Okay, so we know the logic that the corporate media gave us. But here's what's really going on. The assassination was intended to escalate America's presence in Iraq. Why? So we could keep control of the region's oil reserves. Why else? And to back Saudi Arabia's Wahhabi troops, ISIS, Al-Qaeda in Iraq, al-Nusra, and other divisions of what are actually America's Foreign Legion, to support U.S. control of Near Eastern oil as a buttress of the U.S. dollar. That remains the key to understanding this policy and why it is in the process of escalating, not dying down. In other words, it's all about oil, and it's all about them using our dollar for the transport and exchange of oil. That's what it's really about. And Al-Qaeda, I mean, keep in mind, ISIS, this guy who we assassinated was fighting ISIS. ISIS, sometimes United States doesn't like ISIS. Other times, depending on the country ISIS is up against, we like ISIS, the United States. And when I say we, I don't mean we, I mean the United States government, the war machine. They like ISIS when it's convenient. And they arm and fund both sides when it's convenient to their bottom line, which is oil and gas and the petrodollar. We're the bad guys here. This is in summary, we're the bad guys. We are I mean, there's other bad guys too. We're not the only bad, but we're the bad guys. All right, let's see what else is in here. I sat in on discussions of this policy as it was formulated nearly 50 years ago when I worked at the Hudson Institute. This is Michael Hudson speaking, by the way, not me, and attended meetings at the White House, met with generals, blah, blah, blah. My role was a balance of payments, economist, having specialized for a decade at Chase Manhattan. The media and public discussion have diverted attention from this strategy by floundering speculation that President Trump did it, except to counter the non-threat of impeachment with a wag the dog attack, or to back Israeli liberation drives, or simply to surrender the White House to neocon hate Iran syndrome. In other words, they're trying to tell you that Trump just did this because he wanted a distraction. And, you know, there were those tweets that Trump put out a while back where he's like, Barack Obama is going to try to cause a war with Iran to get reelected. And, you know, it's a noteworthy thing. But this goes beyond Donald Trump. The main point of this paragraph, it goes way beyond Donald Trump. Don't make it out like this is just Donald Trump's thing. It is. Donald Trump is certainly responsible. Donald Trump is certainly a warmonger, even though he said he wasn't going to be. His whole claim of being a non-interventionist, that was all a bunch of baloney. And that needs to be emphasized. However, this ain't Donald Trump working alone. This is part of a long-time neocon plan that has been in effect for over 20 years now. Donald Trump is just another willing participant. So for people who have Trump derangement syndrome and think that this is just about Trump trying to distract people from impeachment, and once we get rid of Trump, everything's going to be hunky-dory, well, that's nonsense. Because we had the war machine long before Trump got here. George W. Bush was a willing participant, and so was Barack Obama, and now Trump is as well. On the other hand, those of you who entertain the fantasy that Trump is somehow different, that Trump was some non-interventionist, that Trump is actually some kind of outsider, he isn't, he wasn't, he never was. He's just another warmonger who's just shaped by whoever he surrounds himself with. And who does he surround himself with? The same warmongers everyone else did. The John Boltons of the world, the Pompeos of the world. That's what Donald Trump does. Yeah, he had disagreements with people. He fires people left and right. But he's the same. So, no, Donald Trump is no different. Donald Trump is no outsider. He never was. It was a lie. All right. So, let's see here. And he goes on to talk about the history of the dollar. And when people go against the dollar, that's when we need to, get in there. That's when we need to get in there. All right. So Michael Hudson laying it out. Michael Hudson laying it out. And I recommend you guys check out that Counterpoint article in its entirety. Check it out entirely in its entirety. Say that 5 times fast. Check it out entirely in its entirety. And thank you again, Scrabble Eddie, for sharing that. Scrabble Eddie, a fun game and a cool name, right? I dig that. Scrabble Eddie. So, guys, because we had a pretty war-heavy show today thus far, I wanted to have a little bit of lightness, which is why we opened with Judge Judy. And we're going to go here now. This was shared by Truth to Tweet. Truth to Tweet, of course, has the nemesis false to tweet. A false to tweet never shares information with the show, never sends me articles, never sends me topics, which I would really have to do my homework because they're false to tweet. Truth to Tweet, always sending the truth, which I appreciate. And here's some truth. Bernie has spoken out about a very important issue that has been circulating the blogosphere for a couple months now. That issue Cats and salami. You know, this is a very pro-cat show. I got my producer, Lucy. She's on the couch, kind of passed out. Not mad at me for the vet visit, which I'm thrilled about. She went to the vet yesterday. I was worried she'd be a little crabby. She wasn't. She was totally cool. She was not happy in the car, and she was happy to be home. But she didn't hold a grudge. She was very affectionate, very snuggly, was not like all pissed off, like, why did you take me there? I didn't like that. She didn't like it. But she only hissed at the vet like 2 or 3 times, which for her was very good. She did not bite the vet. She did not draw blood on anybody. And I guess she's mellowing out a little bit as she gets older. She used to do all those things. She, the sweetest cat in the world in every other, and I know everyone says that about their cat, but man, with her, it's so the sweetest cat in the world, unless you are some kind of authority figure. Vets, never been nice to vets. One time, my mom wanted to take her for a cat pedicure. I warned her. I was like, that's a horrible idea. It's not going to work. It didn't. They had to deny service because Lucy was so pissed off the whole time. I think it's because she's not a fan of capitalism. That's what I think it's about. But anyway, the big pressing issue concerns cats and salami. And here's what Bernie Sanders had to say. Cats can have a little salami. Obviously, this is fake. This is not actually from the website. But I love this. I'm running for president. Here, wait. I'm running for president so that every cat can have a little salami, regardless of their income or where they were born. Together, we can give a little salami to every cat in America. So I'm sure you've seen that, where they talk about whether or not cats can have salami. Now, I was curious, where did this originate from? Because I never, a lot of the memes that go on across the internet, we all see them, we all laugh at them. But I'll be honest, I'm not that hip that I know where a lot of them originate from. Like that one blonde girl who's yelling at the cat. I had no idea where that, I think that originates from some like reality TV show. I think that's what I heard. I don't know for sure. I'm not hip to that stuff. I'm old, I guess. I mean, really, like what else? Like I'm too old. Like I don't friggin' know. So I did a little digging because I was curious. I was just like, so how did this come about? And here's something I found. If anyone else is curious, which maybe you're not, and you're just like, Ron, I don't care. It's a funny meme. Who gives a shit? But I don't know. I mean, weren't you curious? Cats can have a little salami. So what this started as, apparently, so cats can have a little salami. This is from the analysis here that I found from knowyourmeme.com. Cats can have a little salami is an image macro series with captions indicated that it is safe to feed cats small amounts of salami. So on July 6, 2017, an article titled, Can My Cat Eat Salami? Was published on the website Meat Men's Store. Well, I'm sure it wasn't skewed at all. I'm sure that wasn't biased. A place called Meat Store. Place called Meat Men's Store, excuse me. But meat and store are in the name. And the question is whether or not you can give an animal a certain type of meat. I'm sure they're going to be completely unbiased. So they said that you can. So here's something from the article. Here's a picture from the article. Cats can have a little salami. That's just a funny sentence. So surprisingly, cats are much better than other household pets when it comes to heavy sodium and fat content of the cured sausage. Your cat can be fine with a little bit of salami as a treat. Cats can have a little salami. So then based on that, cats can have a little salami circulated around the blogosphere. You get all kinds of information on this show. Look, you get information ranging from Judge Judy to imperialism around the world to a meme about cats eating salami and where it comes from. We cover the gamut. We do the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. And I mean, look at all those different topics you covered today. I mean, look at all the things we learned together. We learned about imperialism for oil. We learned about endless war and the economy of war. We learned about Donald Trump's role in it and the Democrats' role in it as well. And we learned about, hey, cats can have a little salami. Where did it come from? Important things, guys. Come on. So that's where it comes from. And here's something else I can tell you about cats. Salt provides them with a lot of essential nutrients, and they are very resourceful in how to get it. How do I know this? Here's how I learned this. At one point, well, and actually this still happens, but Lucy, when she was little, and she still does this, she would lick my armpits. And I thought that was a little weird. Like that was like, I mean, she showed affection all the normal ways a cat does. You know, she purrs, she lets me pet her, she likes it when I rub under her chin. But occasionally she would lick my armpits. Basically, if it was the morning and my armpits were accessible, she'd start licking them. And I was like, why does she do that? It's a little strange. Tickles a little bit, makes me chuckle. Why does she do that? I did some research. It turns out in human sweat, there are certain nutrients pertaining to the salt that human sweat has that is good for cats. And she instinctually knows that. So she was actually getting nutrients that way. So now when she does it, I'm just like, yeah, get those nutrients. I mean, that's what she's doing. It's a little weird, but it's, I don't know. In a weird way, it's kind of like, it's kind of like a feeding in a way. I know it's not the same thing. I know it's not anywhere close to the same thing, but in a weird way, that's kind of. So anyway, if your cat licks your armpits, it's not weird, is my point. Your cat might lick your armpits. Don't worry about it if they do. It's totally fine if your cats lick your armpits. And the reason that they do that, well, now you know why they do it. And some of you were saying that your cat, someone said their cats lick foreheads. Well, yeah, similarly, there's probably those kind of salts, especially is your husband bald? Maybe your husband's bald. And yeah, if your cat licks your armpit, it's not weird. I will gladly be quoted on that. I will gladly be quoted on that. That is a quote. And yeah, if your cat licked your armpit, it's not weird. Ron Placone. I embrace it. I embrace it. Guys, tour dates. I got them. I got a lot of them. All right, let's go through it. January 25th, Santa Clarita, California. Be there. Santa Clarita, California, January 25th. February 8th, Tucson, Arizona. February 29th, San Francisco, California. March 12th, Orlando, Florida. March 13th, Tampa. We finalized the venue. We will have tickets available really soon, but Tampa, mark your calendars, March 13th. Tickets will be available real soon. March 14th, Miami, Florida. April 10th, I'll be in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. April 24th, Seattle, Washington. April 25th, Portland, Oregon. May, getting into May now already. May 14th, Indianapolis, Indiana. May 15th, Detroit, Michigan. May 16th, Cleveland, hold tight. We should have tickets available soon, but Indianapolis, Detroit, tickets are available now. June 19th, Louisville, Kentucky. Grab tickets now. July 11th, Chicago, Illinois. July 12th, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And we got a bunch more dates that we are finalizing over the next couple weeks. We should have tickets available for all 2020 dates by the end of January, but a bunch of tickets are already available now. RonPlacone.com for all those tickets. If you want to support this show on the sustainability end, please do consider becoming a patron. Patreon.com/RonPlacone. Patreon.com/RonPlacone. We're going to do mini docs this year. I just met with Kevin from Right Brain Studios. Right Brain Studios made The Revolution televised. It's an amazing documentary. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. They also made a movie about homelessness called Nightcrawlers. They do brilliant work. They want to team up with me to make mini docs surrounding municipal broadband and net neutrality. We need more resources to make that happen. Even $1 a month goes a long way. Patreon.com/RonPlacone if you are so able. And you get all kinds of exclusive content. You get a patrons only stream once a week. You get you get full dialogues between myself and Lucy. You get full stand-up clips not available anywhere else. Occasionally there's free show tickets. You get my album in its entirety that you can just download for free. Boom. It's so groovy. Patreon.com/RonPlacone. Please do consider it if you can. If you can't, I totally get it. Funds are tight. Please like these videos, share these videos, make sure you're subscribed. And if you're looking to bring municipal broadband to your neighborhood, let me know, and we'll all try to help each other out. I'm still fighting for it, but, it's a new year, and the fight is not over. Hey, Zeus, Ron, can you make Karen M a moderator? She's good. I'll look into that. I probably need a chat moderator at this point. So, yeah, I got to look into getting some chat moderators. So if that interests you, email me, ronplacone.com, email me. We'll get the ball rolling on that. Guys, thank you so much for being part of this. Jesus, thank you for the Super Chat contribution. Everybody who submitted articles, Edwin, Joseph, Truth to Tweet, Scrabble, Eddie, thank you for submitting all the topics for today's show. If you sent me something and I didn't get to it, that happens. I never get to everything, but please do send stuff again tomorrow. How do I send stuff to you, Ron? Tweet me at Ron Placone, or drop it in our Reddit subsection, which is just reddit.com/r/GetYourNewsOnWithRon. Happy 2020, guys. It feels good to be back. I've missed this. I like the new time, too. What do you guys think of the new time? Do you guys dig it? I kind of dig it. Gives me a little more time in the morning. I like it. We'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same channel. Oh, also, one more quick announcement before we sign off here. I am doing a music series this year called Sounds of Revolution, where I'm going to be interviewing musicians about 2020 and their thoughts on the state of the world. Let me know who you want to see on that series. I have my wish list, of course. People have been adding suggestions. So let me know who you want to see. It doesn't have to be a famous band. It can be a mid-level band because I want to have all the above. I want to have some big names. I also want to have some up-and-coming people who have stuff to say. So let me know. If they're based in Los Angeles, that's probably the best because I'm going to do these things in person. So hopefully, if they're in the Los Angeles area or coming to Los Angeles, that's best. But yeah, I really want to do these. So let me know. Guys, thank you so much for being part of this. We will be back tomorrow, same time, same channel, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, right here. You know the drill in the meantime. Lucy, a clean bill of health, Lucy says meow. I say peace. Peace.